as the title of the vlog suggests, you find me on the Middle Severn, up just down the road from Ironbridge. So just come up here. I normally do monthly vlogs and it's mainly carp fishing, but myself and my friend have looked at a few of the Barbel vlogs that are on the on YouTube. I just thought we'd put one on, hopefully a little bit more informative than some of the ones that are on, especially for newbies, people just starting out. I think they struggle to find information on YouTube, so that's what this is. So it's quite a long trek here. Left home at 4:30 this morning, got here at 7:05. So I don't know the river well. I've been fishing it for 4 years, but probably only get here 3, sometimes 4 times a year. So I've dropped into a swim that I do know, and hopefully we'll catch a fish or two, but I'm happy to move swims 2 or 3 times in a day whilst here, a couple of hours in each swim. Just talk you through the tackle really, just for anyone who's just starting out wondering what to get. It's what I use. It's not necessarily the right tackle, but it's what I use. So I've got 2 12-foot 2-pound test curve core and barbel rods. I find them more than capable for the fish on this river. Before I had them, I first came up here with just feeder rods, and it was a struggle to get the barbel in. You know, an average barbel on here is only 4 to 6 pounds. I've had a few 7-pounders. I've had a 9.4 and a 9.8. Never had a double. If you go further up to Shrewsbury, more likely to get a double up there. But yeah, so they're the rods I use. Little 4000 Shimano bait runner reels are getting more than ample for what I want to do. I don't actually use the bait runner. What I tend to do, if I remember, is once I get a run, I tend to flick the other rod into bait runner mode, just so if I get a second take while I'm playing the first fish, it's not trying to yank the rod off the pod and into the water. Then use 10-pound line running all the way through with a lead bead swivel, whatever it's called, a running, I don't know what they're called, running lead beads I think they're called. They just let the line run freely, so the fish doesn't feel any resistance. That's the theory anyway. Then a couple of foot up the line I've got a little Drenham float stop. Again, you can use any mate float stop. I just like the Drenham ones, and that's when the river's in flow. Basically any crud going down the river tends to gather onto that bait stop rather than going all the way down to the lead, which just makes it easier when you're bringing a fish in. Then I've got anything from 2 to 4 foot hook length. I just use a 10-pound nylon. Sometimes I use fluorocarbon. We've got a size 8 corum hook on today, wide gape, hair, and use boilie, pellet, luncheon meat, worm. Just keep chopping and changing. I find never 2 days they're eating the same thing on the Severn here. So and sometimes even within an hour of catching on a boilie, you change to something else and you'll get another take when the boilies have stopped working. So yeah, I think that's all sat on my core and pod. Ironically, when I'm carping I don't use pods, or very rarely, because I don't like using them, but on the river I prefer to use the pod, so that works nicely for me. And then lastly, got a 36-inch spoon net and a 3-metre extending handle, just because when the Severn's up, you're quite often 2 metres from the water to be fishing, so 3-metre extending handle is what I use. I've been baiting up the swim for an hour and cast out about 10 to 9. Both rods are out now, and had a few little tweaks and had a trout jump actually where I've been baiting up. So yeah, we'll just see what happens. If I can, I'll get a run on the camera as well, and update you as the day goes on. So, see you later. Oh, welcome back. Moved swims now. Yeah, nothing happened down in that swim. So I've come about 1.5 miles up river now. So and amazingly within, I don't know, 10 minutes of casting out, I had a bream of all things. Never caught a bream on the Severn, but yeah, this swim's not dissimilar to the other swim in so much as, I mean, I'm facing east, so the sun's coming up from that side. The barb will stay on the far margin early morning, and a bit in the middle because the middle's deep. And then as the sun moves around and goes behind me, late afternoon, early evening, they'll be just in front of me. I mean, there's a tree just to the right of me. I had a 6.5 pound chub off there, I think 2 Decembers ago, and the last time I came here I had a 7 pound barbel literally 2 foot in front of me just before it got dark. So I'm now trickling baits into those 2 spots and concentrating on the middle of the river. That's where I've had the bream from. Hey, well, I think we're going to have to make a part 2 to this middle Severn vlog, because today's been a very unproductive day to say the least. I've ended up with 1 bream, 1 little chub, and at one point I was perch fishing. Changed the rigs over, went for the perch, see if I could get a decent perch. All I could get are 4 and 6 ounces, so even that didn't work today. And yeah, I could sit it out for another few hours, but to be honest, I'm pretty shattered, and I just don't think it's going to happen. So yeah, hopefully we can catch a few fish to make this worth watching. Otherwise it will be just confined to the rubbish heap and never make YouTube. But anyway, yep, I'll be back in 5 weeks time to hopefully update the vlog with some better action. Okay, see you then. Well, welcome back. Yeah, back up on Coalport, on the Severn. It's 5 weeks now since I had that blank session. I'm up here. I'm actually with a friend as well. I've got a friend, he's 4 pegs along from me, so hopefully between the 2 of us we can catch something for the camera and make this vlog worth viewing and actually get onto YouTube, as opposed to ending up on the cutting floor as it looks at the moment. So yeah, we're up here, got here, not such a good journey today. M11 closed, and then M6 is just unbelievably busy for the, you know, normally Saturday mornings that time of day there's nothing on the M6, but it was packed today. So it was a 3-hour drive up here, left home at 4:30, got here at 7:30. Started putting some baits out in the swim at 8 o'clock, and it's just got 9 now, and just put the rods out for the first time. And no, I've just spoken to Darren on the walkie-talkies. He's just put his rods out as well. So between us, hopefully, we'll get a fish or 2 this session to continue the insight of fishing the middle Severn this time of year, really, and hopefully helping some of you out. So I'll keep this brief because there's been already a lot of chatting and not a lot of fishing being had or seen on camera. So update the vlog as the day goes on, and hopefully with a fish or 2. So speak to you then. Okay, well, welcome back. Sure, as you can see from the background, different swim now. The swims Darren and I were in this morning didn't produce anything. Darren had 1 aborted take, and yeah, nothing for me. So we've moved, we're in the middle of the river now, a couple of swims. I've never fished these swims, but yeah, we just thought we'd give it a go. It's there's a nice little flow coming through here. On the opposite side, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of the way over, maybe a bit more, just fishing on the crease of the flow and hoping to pick up fish there. At the same time baiting up the inside line. There's a nice, just inside of me there's some boulders down there, and then it looks like quite a deep hole in the boulders, so I'm trickling pellet into there every 20 minutes or so. That's the plan for now. If nothing happens in another hour or so, we'll probably contemplate a 3rd move. So just to wrap up the little vlog on fishing the middle Severn. So it's 5:30 now. You have to be off this particular stretch of the river, or you have to be off the road even before dark. So we've got about another half an hour before we have to wind in. So, as I've said, it has been a struggle today. The first pegs we were both in, neither of us caught. We moved up to the middle of the river about midday, I guess it was. No, earlier than that, 11 o'clock. I struggled and blanked, and well, we both struggled, but Darren, who's come with me, managed to get a 5 pound 6 ounce chub, which is a personal best for him. We gave those swims 3 hours, and then we've moved up to where we've finished the day, which is almost at the end of our stretch of river. So as I say, you've got 2.5 miles of river. I've come up here. I've fished this peg before. I've not fished the peg that Darren's gone in, a couple of swims along, or pegs along, or 4 pegs along. I arrived in here, put some catapults of bait out, cast out, and was actually setting up the camera ready to try and get a take on video, or a bite on video, not a take. You don't get takes. Takes are what you get with carp. You get bites. And whilst I was setting the camera up, I had a big bite on the left hand rod and played that. Really nice battle that was, really enjoyable, although worrying. As soon as I got it in the net, I was pretty certain I had a double figure barbel. And as I've said before, I've not had a double figure barbel. 4 years of fishing this river, I've had a 9.4 and a 9.8. So put him on the scales, and yeah, 10 pound 4. So really happy with that. So that's my double figure barbel. Finally that one's nailed. Put the rod back out, and probably about half an hour later the other rod went, and that was a 4 pound 2, I think it was, or 4 pound 6 chub. Nonetheless, when you're blanking all day, it was nice to have those 2 fish. Then Darren, further along the river, he called me to say he'd had a small chub, and then I've literally just been along and photographed a personal best barbel for him, which was 11 pound 6 or 11 pound 4. And yeah, I've said before, you don't come on this stretch of the Severn for doubles or big fish, you come on here for numbers. The irony today, we've really struggled and we've both had a double, so you know, that's a Severn for you. It's a beautiful place to come. This particular stretch, as I've said before, it is only days, but I put the drone up earlier and just did a little flyby. It's the first swims we were in and went over the bridge and back again. So just to show you, it's a lovely river to fish. It's not overfished, I think, because mainly because you can't fish into dark and people can't do nights and people don't want to fish it. So for me, 4 years, this is typical. What I've found of 4 years fishing the Severn is, if you're not catching in a couple of hours, move swims. And again, if you're not catching again, move swims. You know, I stay in swims definitely too long. Probably haven't today, but I definitely stay in swims too long normally. So hopefully you've enjoyed watching this little insight to fishing the Middle Severn, and if you're a newbie, it's given you a little idea of what you can and can't do and what you can expect to catch. Yeah, if you've enjoyed this, hopefully you'll subscribe to my YouTube channel and maybe watch some of my monthly vlogs. Yeah, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon.